Boogeyman Ben.
So, do you have any movies that you would say are just the absolute worst?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay, let's hear.
The Kick-Ass movies.
I have not seen either of them.
I hate them both.
Really? They're that bad.
Well, I'll say this. I love
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Chloe Grace Moretz and
pretty
Nick
funny.
Cage in the first one. Big Daddy,
Big Daddy.
and Hit Girl. They make the movie.
Yeah.
The Kick-Ass character. I don't understand why it's so popular, and and the second one was god awful. It's like I was like, this movie is friggin' horrible.
I love the line from the second movie. I haven't seen it, but I saw the preview. I love the line where he was like, you and me, we're like Batman and Robin, and she says, Robin wishes he was me.
Yeah, I mean,
that's funny.
But they made her. She's like the best part of the movies, and it's like, so everything else in the movie just seems kind of. There's just nothing really that just. Nothing in those, and I never read the comic books, so I don't know how faithful they are. But I just never. I don't like the main characters, and the fact that the main guy that plays Kick-Ass is actually playing Quicksilver in the Avengers. I'm mad that it's not the guy that played Quicksilver in Days of Future Past.
It's the whole Fox versus Marvel thing.
But yeah, I hope he does a good job as Quicksilver, but I'm just not a fan of the Kick-Ass movie.
Here's one that's absolutely god awful. The 89 or 90 Roger Corman Fantastic Four.
I've never seen
it
that.
Never got a cinematic release, but somebody pirated it, and you could watch the whole thing.
I'm sure it's horrible because Corman goes like very cheap. I know
it's
that.
Extremely cheap. It's just really bad. What else you got for bad ones?
Amazing Spider-Man is one of my least favorite.
Both of them. I can't stand either.
I didn't even see the second one. I won't even see the second one.
Oh my God.
I hated the first one, and I was like, How is this? That's
you
what I'm
don't
saying.
care about them.
I hate
them. They
them.
don't elicit any emotions from me. I can't get into Andrew Garfield.
I like him as an actor. He was great in Social Network, but I just cannot get into him as Spider-Man.
He's not Peter Parker.
No.
Tobey Maguire made me care.
He's a dick.
He is a dick. Tobey Maguire was not a dick.
And everybody's like, oh, he's
until
sarcastic.
He got emo with the black costume.
Yeah, but that was in the third movie.
Yeah,
it's like everybody's like, oh, well, but he plays Andrew Garfield plays Peter better than Tobey Maguire because he's more sarcastic. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not
Peter. Peter Parker is sarcastic when he's
Spider-Man, not when he's Peter Parker.
Not when he's Peter Parker.
No, he's kind of meek and kind of. I mean, especially in the beginning, he's kind of. And I just like when I saw Andrew Garfield in the first one, I'm like going, okay, now we got to see Uncle Ben die again. We got to see this whole thing again. We got to see him get bit again. And I'm like going, I don't want to. I've seen this movie. I saw this movie 10 years ago, and it was a better movie.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan. And they are drawing some inspiration from the comics, but I'm not a huge fan of the whole story arc about Peter's parents being spies and all this and that. And then in the comic, like he meets his dad, right? And like it turns out that his dad is a spy or whatnot, but it turns out his dad's actually an android built by the Jackal.
Yeah,
something.
No, was it the Chameleon? It was the Chameleon working. It was the Chameleon and the Jackal, and then the Green Goblin was kind of behind it too. It was like a weird. That was like when
the whole story arc with his parents
thing,
being. That's right. It was
not the Clone War, but the Clone Saga.
With Kane and
Ben
I had all
those.
Scarlet Spider, Hideous,
But
that whole story arc with his parents being spies or whatnot. Hated it in the comics. Does not work in the movies. Andrew Garfield, I don't care about you.
Yeah, and I just didn't even want to see the second one.
Yeah. I'm surprised I even saw the second one.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it, and I'm like, okay, they're showing everything in the trailer. It looks, again, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
I don't care. I cared about Tobey Maguire.
I love Tobey Maguire.
And I love the fact that they, instead of doing web shooters, they genetically altered
so and then a lot of people didn't like that, but I said, that's kind of creative.
That is creative.
But they're like, oh, he's a scientist, he should make his own stuff. And I'm like, well, does it really matter?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool that it was in a system.
There's other spider characters that are related in the Spider-Verse that shoot natural organic webbing, so why not Peter?
Yeah.
All right.
That's so good. We're on the same page with that.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen this. It was a straight-to-video Marvel comic book movie, Man-Thing.
No, I remember Man-Thing, though, because he was like their version of Swamp Thing.
Yeah, kind of, but he's also like the protector of like the realm, of the section of Earth where like all realities, the nexus of all realities, where all realities, everything that can or will happen, he protects like that portal. So he's not so much like the environmentally friendly champion like Swamp Thing. He's like the protector of the nexus of other worlds. And let me say, in this straight-to-video movie, Man-Thing looks badass. He's scary as hell. And they obviously blew their entire budget on Man-Thing instead of good actors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. It's really awful. But it's kind of fun to watch because it's so bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Elektra is another really bad one.
I can't believe I forgot to put that on my worst list.
Yeah, I watched that once, and I like Jennifer Garner. I think she's a good actress, and I like.
Well, she was perfect for the role.
She was perfect in the role in the first movie.
Alias.
Yeah, but I liked her in the Daredevil movie. But a solo movie with her, it just didn't work, and I've only watched it once, so I can't go into great details about it. I just remember I was like, this is really bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a cameo by Ben Affleck in it as Matt Murdock, but it's like the best part of the movie. It's like he's not even in the Daredevil costume.
It's awful.
Yeah,
it's just a bad movie.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Again, 89 or 90 Dolph Lundgren Punisher. That movie is awful.
I never saw it.
It's just horrible. Again, you can hardly understand a word he says. Louis Gossett Jr. just is like confused throughout the entire movie.
He's a good actor.
And he's one of the best actors ever. I remember back when it first came out, everybody was just like, oh my god, it's so violent and there's so many bodies dropping, the body count is huge and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I saw it and I'm just like, first of all, this sucks. Second of all, Rambo has a bigger body count than this Punisher movie. So, yeah.
I never saw it.
Oh, don't.
Yeah.
Don't. What else you got?
Sin City 2.
I didn't see it.
God, and it was. This is heartbreaking for me to say it's bad because I love the original Sin City.
I love the first one too. I've read the original Sin City books. I own them, as a matter of fact, and it, just like 300, is just a page-for-page recreation, and it's brilliant.
They waited too long to do it.
Yep.
It's still visually stunning the way that it's done, but the thing is that it's confusing because there's characters that died in the first Sin City movies that are alive here, and they don't explain why they're alive here.
They don't explain whether or not it's like flashback scenes.
They don't explain if it's flashbacks. They don't explain because the whole thing is what I found out is that the stories were done out of order. So like there's stories that happened in A Dame to Kill For that take place before the stories that happened in the original Sin City, but it's never clear.
Well, in the original Sin City, they don't. It's not in sequential order either.
Well, no, yeah, but it's like this one.
But it's not confusing.
It's not confusing because it's the first one. So you're like. So, you know, Marv dies in the first one, and then he's got a huge part in the second one, and you're like going, I don't get it. Now, Hardigan is in the second one, but it makes sense why he's in the second one, so that part didn't bother me.
From what I understand, he's like kind of like an afterthought in the back of
in Jessica Alba's
mind.
But it almost felt like it was a movie that was trying to be as edgy as the first one, and it just didn't succeed. It got to the point where it's like there was great setup, but the execution was terrible. The only plus side of that movie is Eva Green, because she's naked through like the whole movie. Yes. And I was like, okay, anytime that happened, I was really enthralled with the movie. Otherwise, it was just like it just was too little, too late. They waited way too long to do it. Yeah. I think if they would have done it maybe a couple years after the first one, again, great, but I wasn't a fan of Sin City 2, unfortunately.
Too bad.
Yeah, it is too bad, because I was really looking forward to it.
Alrighty. Did you see the 1990 Captain America movie?
No.
I have it on DVD. You can borrow it at your own risk.
No.
It's god-awful. So bad. So bad. Almost like on par with like a Roger Corman movie. They tried. I think the main problem was the way they handled the Red Skull. But overall, the plot's awful. You know, It's just bad.
It's just
I can't
defend that one.
I can't give it
any higher marks or any other reason that it's
There's
just
nothing
bad.
about it that I like other than the fact that it's so bad I can't help but love watching it.
Because of how bad it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
Again, it is also
there's a few that are like
status. Cult status.
I've kind of gone through my list, so if you want to round out and just go through yours.
Finish this up really quick. Supergirl.
Never saw it.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
That's Helen Slater.
Yes, Helen Slater and Faye Dunaway, I believe.
Oh wow, Faye Dunaway.
Yeah, it's
I didn't care for it.
Indefensible. S.H.I.E.L.D.
Never with Shaq.
With Shaq. Now this pissed me off because during the death of Superman and the rise of the Superman story arc. Yeah. S.H.I.E.L.D. was badass. Yeah. And of course, by the time, Superman comes back, the main Superman, you had, what was it? The Eradicator was the clone, and then, you had, the android Superman.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah, there was a bunch of different ones.
Those two were, the bad guys, and so they kind of went off. And then when Superman came back, you had Superman, Superboy, and Steel.
That's cool.
Steel
was cool. I remember that, those comic years.
Yeah, and the Shaq movie ruined it. They ruined that memory, because I wasn't a huge fan of the Death of Superman story arc. Yeah. Especially when he got split into, red and blue Superman. Yeah. That was lame. That was so lame. And I wasn't a huge fan of, the whole thing. But, the aftermath was pretty cool. Because it's a world without Superman, and now you have all of these other, guys trying to rise.
Trying to sort of fill that void.
And be the new Superman. So, I liked that. And Steel was badass in that, and Shaq ruined it. Oh. Of course, Green Lantern.
Oh, fuck, I forgot to put that one on.
Yeah, right?
And I couldn't get through that one either. I got through an hour of it and I shut it off.
I watched it. I watched the whole thing.
It was
the only thing I like
Ryan Reynolds, but I see
he was too much.
He's too comedic. I'm
too comedic for that role.
That's not Green
Hal
Lantern.
Jordan is a ladies' man, and he does. He's a smooth talker, and he does have some one-liners here and there. But overall,
he's not a comedian.
He's not a comedian.
Yeah,
he's a funny guy, but he's not a comedian. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you've seen the new 52 animated movies that are coming out, like Justice League War.
I know what you're talking about.
Pretty good, but again, Green Lantern's just a little bit too comedic. For my taste. I would rather have Flash be more comedic than.
Well, there's certain characters where it makes sense, and then there's ones where I'm like, because when I saw the trailer for it, I'm like, this is a little too goofy.
Yeah,
and then I watched it, and I'm like,
it's way too goofy.
I can't get into this. Yeah. I loved him as Hannibal King, and I loved him. I think he's great as Deadpool. I think he'll be fantastic.
He'll be great as Deadpool.
I mean, from that teaser thing that they did where he's the character, I'm like,
I'm sold. He's Deadpool.
He's Deadpool. And
except for in the X-Men Origins Wolverine where they fucked up the Deadpool
and they made him some weird thing at the end. Where they sewed his mouth shut. And they had all kinds of
powers and
I didn't like that.
So... But,
I forgot to put that on my list.
Yeah, Green Lantern. I like the fact that they incorporated, Amanda Waller and Star Labs and Argus and the whole idea of that. But here's what I'm hoping when they actually come around to do Justice League. You can't do Justice League without a Green Lantern.
No, they're going to
He's one of the founding members. Yeah. I'm hoping what they do, because Ryan Reynolds has soiled the name Green Lantern... I hope what they do is, instead of doing, why am I blanking?
That's all right.
What's his name? His not Green Lantern, his actual human name.
Hal Jordan.
Thank you, Hal Jordan. Because he's soiled the name of Hal Jordan, I hope what they do is they just say in the Justice League movie, oh, he's off on the planet Oa, so Earth's new Green Lantern is, and they have either Jon Stewart or they have Kyle Rayner.
Oh, okay. So
there's the Green Lantern for the Justice League movie.
So it's different.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah. Not, what's his name? The red-haired guy. That was a Green Lantern. I don't know. The dick. The jerk. The guy that,
I didn't collect Green Lantern, so I don't know what that character is.
Oh, man, I'm blanking on it, man. He was Green Lantern for a while. And as a matter of fact, there's just one of my favorite moments in Justice League, the comic book, is when, he gets sick and tired of Batman bossing him around or asserting his authority, and he decides that he's going to challenge Batman to a fight, and to make it fair, he takes off his lantern ring. Yeah. And Batman knocks him out in one punch. and you have Blue Beetle like over on the side, and it's like a total meme like these days.
That's funny.
Blue Beetle's on the side going, "One punch!"
That's great. That's bad.
But I can't, because I can't stand him, I can't for the life of me remember the name.
Guy
Gardner.
There you go.
Guy Gardner.
I was going to say, you'll remember on the way home.
Exactly. Guy Gardner. They better not have Guy Gardner in the Justice League movie. It should be either Jon Stewart, preferably, or Kyle Rayner as the Green Lantern in the Justice League movie.
They might do something like that because, like you said, the name is kind of...
It's soiled Hal Jordan's name.
It's too bad, too.
And finally, one of the worst... I think this was a made-for-TV one. Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the Hoff.
I can't
was so bad.
I cannot stand David Hasselhoff in anything.
It was just awful.
Really? He was Nick Fury?
He was Nick Fury in like
I remember seeing a picture of it. I'm like, really? That really is real.
It's awful. It's just so bad. So yeah, those are my awful, the worst. And of course I said Batman and Robin, I think is the worst movie, superhero movie ever made. Well, we did it. We talked about the, what we thought was underrated. We talked about, what ones were the worst.
There's some bad ones out there,
There's some
folks.
awful ones. I don't think we did not cover any superhero movies that are awful.
And I know that we're going to think of one probably when we shut the video off. But I think we did a pretty good job. We covered a pretty big landscape there.
We really did. Okay. We really did. But I think overall it was a lot of fun. I think I can't not agree with your choices as far as comic book movies that are underrated, and you even brought up a few that I hadn't even thought of.
Yeah, no, and the same. There's a few that you brought up, ones I've never even either heard of, or like the Corman ones and the Nick Fury, which I never want to see.
No, never.
But most of the ones we've either seen them or we both respect them. I need to check out League of Extraordinary Gentlemen again. I want to see that one again because I forgot how it was fun at the time. I remember watching. I just never picked it up again.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming back to the Horror Zone, and
always a pleasure.
And I think we should do these more often.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Once a year.
Yeah, once a year we're going to do a compilation list.
Because it's almost been exactly 1 year since we did our last one.
That is very true.
It'll actually be tomorrow. Will be 1 year.
I'll be damned.
Wow, scary. Time flies.
Yes, definitely. Well.
But thank you, Ray, for talking about it. Everyone likes what we said here and talking about superhero movies and comic book movies in general, and please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll share your acting page.
Check out my YouTube page. It's under Raymond C. Duval, and I've got an acting page on Facebook as well, where I've got links to works that I've done and things of that nature. Some horrific stuff. I haven't done any superhero stuff though.
I think you could do it. Well, the duct tape commercial.
Yeah. Well, in that commercial, the duct tape was the superhero. I was the villain.
Let's see. There you go.
Yeah, it's on my YouTube page.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun a little commercial. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for some more videos coming very soon. Take it easy. Peace.